Hi everyone, this is Miss Liz from the Hightstown branch with a look at some new board books that have come in since we've been closed. If you find any that you particularly like, feel free to place a hold on it through our online catalog or by calling your local branch. Our first book is called Happy, play on words here, P like the food, Happy All Year by Keith Baker. And this is a board book version of the picture book. And there's a whole series of these types of books that started with one called LMNOP. So it features all these little P characters. And this one in particular takes you through the months of the year and has a little phrase about them, a little rhyming phrase. Like Happy January, let's get going. Grab your mittens, hooray, it's snowing. So it's a good way to introduce some new vocabulary with rhyming. There's a lot of detail to look at what each P is doing in the picture. There's really a lot that you can get out of this particular book. So that's Happy All Year Round by Keith Baker. Our next one is Love You Head to Toe by Ashley Barron. And this one compares little babies to all kinds of different animals and sea creatures like a sea star, a kitten, a duckling, and it features, as you can see, different babies from different ethnicities with different loved ones or doing different routines. And these are very captivating illustrations as well. And it's fun to compare and look at the animals and the baby animals as well. So that is Love You Head to Toe by Ashley Barron. Next we have Duck Duck Moose by Sudipta Bardhan-Quallen, and this one would be great for toddlers, preschoolers. It's of course a play on the traditional game of Duck Duck Goose. Instead there's a moose and these are quite silly illustrations. So as they go through the day, these ducks, then they're interrupted by a moose. And of course the moose causes all kinds of silly things to happen throughout the day when the poor ducks are just trying to do what they need to do. So this is definitely something that would appeal to a preschooler's sense of humor. Duck Duck Moose by Sudipta Bardhan-Quallen. Then we have Kitty's Cuddles by Jane Cabrera. And this is about a cat who is trying to find out which of her friends does she love to cuddle the most. These illustrations are very bright and crisp and clear, and it has all kinds of different animal friends and describes different kinds of cuddles. And then of course at the end she ends up liking to cuddle her new baby brother. So this book would be particularly ideal for somebody who is expecting to have a new baby brother in their life, or a new baby cousin or sister or something of that nature. Also by Jane Cabrera is Old MacDonald Had a Farm. Jane Cabrera has done a variety of picture books and board books with her signature illustrations here, and used nursery rhymes and songs and set them into book form. So this is a nice version of Old MacDonald that's definitely a little bit more drawn out with his wife, his dog, sheep, and so on. So if you have someone in your life who loves this song, this would be great for you. If this is a new song for you and your child, then this would also be a great way to get an introduction to it. So that's Old MacDonald Had a Farm by Jane Cabrera. Next we have a classic from Eric Carle. This is quite timely for this time of year. This one literally just came in. So Happy Halloween from the Very Busy Spider, a Lift the Flap book. And it features the Very Busy Spider from Eric Carle's picture book and his friends, the animal friends, and what they're doing on Halloween. It has nice big chunky flaps to lift. So this is definitely good for those older toddlers, preschoolers who have the fine motor skills, or working on those of course, to lift the flaps. And then of course you also have Eric Carle's signature illustrations, which can't go wrong with those. So that's Happy Halloween from the Very Busy Spider by Eric Carle. The next one is Snakes on a Train. So this is a popular one also in picture books. And there's a companion, Snakes on the Job. So anybody who's a snake or train enthusiast might really like this one. And it's all about snakes taking a ride on the train, and has a nice rhyme, which again is a great way to have children expand their vocabulary. And it also has a nice little bit of participation. Hiss goes the sound of the train, gets repeated throughout the book. So once the kids catch on, or if you want to encourage them, it's something that they can repeat as they're reading. So that's Snakes on a Train by Catherine Dennis. The next one is one of many, many ones about babies, but this one takes a different approach. This is Littles and How They Grow by Kelly DiPucchio. Hoping I'm pronouncing that right. And again, it features babies of different nationalities, and it kind of takes a different approach to presenting them and their days and routines. So this would be good for, again, for someone who is going to have a new baby in their family, in their life in some way. And it presents all kinds of different babies and routines, and pictures babies with fathers and mothers, and doing all kinds of different ways of being fed. So it's a very well-rounded look at babies. So the next one is Wonderful Me, I Love All of Me by Laurie Ann Grover. And this one is a nice taller book, has a very thick cover, so it's nice and chunky for the little ones to hold on to. It's a very good message of self-esteem and positive image, and definitely, of course, something babies can relate to, toddlers and preschoolers as well. You know, my blinky eyes, show me your eyes, chubby cheeks. Our next book is kind of a fun one. It's called Jump by Tatsuri Matsuka, and really it's meant to be held vertically, and it features a bunch of different animals and how they can hop and jump. Of course, ones that you would expect, like a frog. See here, he's jumping. And a kitten. And so on and so forth, until of course it gets to a little girl at the end. So this is a nice one for active kids who might want to act out the story by jumping. Maybe even also make some animal sounds as they see each one. Although I'd be curious to see if anybody comes up with a sound that a grasshopper makes. But that's a fun book to interact with. That's Jump by Tatsuri Matsuka. Hopefully I'm getting that at least close in pronunciation. Our next book is great for our youngest infants because it really has a lot of that black and white high contrast pictures. It's called How to Be a Cat by Nikki McClure. And it has very nice big illustrations, one word at a time. So it's really good to share with our youngest ones to begin that love of reading with them. Or it'd be great for any cat enthusiast as well. Next, we've got one for more of our preschoolers, curious toddlers as well, Moon Landing by Jill MacDonald, which talks about, of course, the moon and the astronauts traveling there. And of course, you've got your big lines here to read, but then there's a little bit more you can go into detail if your child is ready for that. If not, then of course you can just read the big part of the story. But this would be good for any space enthusiast. And that's Moon Landing by Jill MacDonald. Next, we have another Lift the Flap book. It's always great to have books that have very tangible elements for our youngest readers to be able to interact with the book in the best ways they know how, by touching. So this is called Jungle by Jane Ormez, and it's about animal families. So we'll see in our nice big bright illustrations our tiger, daddy tiger, our mommy tiger's a tigress, and then the baby tiger, we open the flaps to find out they are called cubs. So we go throughout the jungle and identify different animals and talk about what the names are for the male or daddy, the female or mommy, and the babies. So this is a fun one for anyone who likes animals. You can make animal sounds as you turn the pages, and always fun to lift the flaps. That's Jungle by Jane Ormes. Next, we have a great one that'll come hopefully in handy soon, Library Babies by Puck. So very cute illustrations of several different children and babies enjoying the library and what you can do there. I know it's been quite some time before anybody's been able to come visit us, but hopefully this will get children reacquainted with the library, something you can practice and read with them so they can learn what to anticipate. So it'd be good for toddlers and preschoolers too. You can always say library kids instead of library babies if you wanted, so that you can get them used to what you do in a library. So it's Library Babies by Puck. Another one in the very large collection of books about becoming big siblings or having new babies in your life, Little Miss Big Sis by Amy Krauss Rosenthal. So this one is a rhyming book, and it really features on what Little Miss, our older girl, can do as the big sister. It's really empowering and features what can she do to help. So that's really a nice thing for big sisters. This is I Yoga You instead of I Love You by Genevieve Santos, and it is taking a look at a child's daily routine through yoga poses and focusing on yoga and mindfulness that a lot of children's books are starting to focus on now, which could definitely be very helpful for our little ones as well as our adults. So I love you in the morning when you salute the sun, so you do your sun salutations. I love you when you stretch out straight. Our day has now begun, and we've got mountains here for the mountain pose. And then in the garden, watering plants and trees, and they've got tree pose. So it's a nice introduction to yoga and some of the poses, and it's just also a fun way to see an interaction of a child and an adult and their daily routine. Of course, this is a great page about calming down. Maybe a good book to read before nap time or bedtime. And it shows all kinds of different emotions to help kids relate to that. So that's I Yoga You by Genevieve Santos. And our last one for today clearly has hit the jackpot, I feel, for many young kids, toddlers, preschoolers, Diggersaurs by Michael Waite, I'm thinking. I'm not 100% sure how to pronounce that one either. Ooh. But Diggersaurs, the combination of construction vehicles and dinosaurs. So he knew what he was doing with this one. Anyone who loves dinosaurs or construction vehicles, or both, which there's many out there, this is the book for them. So we actually see different Diggersaurs, like a Scuposaurus, or an Excavatorsaurus, or a Dumpersaurus, and what they do. They have little rhymes as well, so we get that buildup of vocabulary. And there's some cool detail. There's a little person usually in each of the pictures as well to look at.